fucking hell. Oh, knee down. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. So I have the pleasure of driving this KTM 525 around town, and around town is the right phrasing in this case, because it does not do well on constant high speeds. In its essence, it is and always will be a dirt bike. So it's got plenty of torque, it can handle almost anything, but it's not intended to be at high revs for long amounts of time. It gives it a bit of pain cooling wise as well. Such a fun bike, but definitely not a touring or proficient touring. Like, I wouldn't drive this into France or Germany from here. Like, it's definitely, if you do take this into the mountains, it's definitely a bike that you put on a trailer and get there before you do it. Yeah, the amount of torque these things have is amazing, but it's definitely a hooligan bike. Like, yeah, there's no way to drive this decency. There's no way to drive this past a cop and look very inconspicuous and law-abiding. Obviously the bike comes with, let me see, a Kickstarter, as you can see right here, but also a electrical starter, which, especially if you do go off-road, is a very nice addition. Very little is worse than standing knee deep in wet mud trying to kick on your motorbike again. It's not really what it's... These tyres are not suited for this sand, obviously. Also, I don't think I'm allowed to go here. No access for motorised vehicles. Okay. There we go. I don't mean to get into trouble. But yeah, so this bike is a lot of fun. As for maintenance, it's an enduro, so it requires a bit more maintenance than, for example, a touring or adventure bike. But as for parts aren't actually that expensive. Parts are actually quite reasonably priced, I found. The bikes are quite expensive, which I'm guessing is to do with brand value and rigidity. Like, this bike is a KTM 525 EXC from 2003, and it's in absolute tip-top shape. Like, not aesthetically, obviously there's quite some usage marks on it, but like, the engine doesn't use any oil, the gearbox has never failed me. It's in pretty good condition mechanically, so I'm guessing that helps keeping the value up. One of the difficulties of having the brand value that comes with it is that they are quite expensive to buy second hand, and they get stolen a lot. I mean, especially in the area that I live in, but I know it's not much different in the UK, where I've also lived. These enduro bikes, they get scrapped for parts, or they take the plates off and use it for competitive enduro or not even competitive, but like just green laning, which for what's this then? Which obviously is not good for the peace of mind. But definitely a thing to be mindful of. Like, you need to keep these bikes safe. Definitely helps you lose your license though. Fortunately, this thing is not accurate, so if it looks like I'm going really fast, this thing is measured for the enduro wheels on it, so the off-road wheels on it, and the Supermoto wheels are of different size, so the meter is just a guesstimation. So by the looks of it, but I'm not entirely sure, it seems that 80 is about 50, 60, and 100 to 110 seems to be somewhere around 70, 80. It's not that much of a problem to have it like recalculated, because you can fill in the size of the wheel to make it accurate again. But as it's not my bike, and it's really not my place to kind of fuck about with the settings of the bike. Oh, that sound, honestly. I've done some fucking about with like going onto this hillside and back down, and the middle bit, and it's surprising really, because obviously all you've done is replace the wheels with road wheels. All the suspension is still fine, so they can take quite a brunt. It gives you a lot of flexibility. You do feel like you need to slow down because you don't want to damage the rims, which is also the case with the enduro wheels, obviously. But like, you can really cuck about on this bike. It does not care what you do. Well good, honestly, well good. So I think, but I'm not sure, I didn't ask the guy who owns this bike. I think this bike has got an official KTM aftermarket Akrapovic slip-on. Might be a full system, I don't know. I know all the engine parts, or the engine cover, etc. are magnesium. That is standard for these bikes, because they're really meant for competition, you know. Ugh. So much fun! Literally the only way to ride this bike is like an a-hole. Oh, knee down! Fucking hell! Jesus Christ! I scared my knee! I don't know if you can see it. Oh my god. The feeling with this bike, I did not expect that. But it just keeps on going. There's so much grip. Fucking hell. Oh, wonderful. Oh boy. Oh, this bike. I need to get rid of it. It's not good for me. Oh man. This is why no one is driving this bike properly. This is why all the people on these kind of bikes are always doing this careless shit. This is why people with this bike get on TV, man. This is, it's too easy. This bike, really. My word. Honestly, my word. This is... Oh. I kind of want one. And I kind of want to race one on track, but I did, like, deep down inside, I feel like I should never have one of these. I should never possess one of these with a license plate on them. I should never be allowed to drive this on the road. Like, I can definitely drive it steadily, like this is legal, I'm fine, you know, whatever. But it's so easy. It's so easy. ridiculous. Oh. Lost the rear a bit there. Fucking hell. That rear tyre really has had the best of its lifespan. Oh. Fuck me. This is gonna look so slow on the camera, and I know it's gonna look like I'm doing a leisure cruise across the roads, probably, like, no doubt about it. But this bike, man, the torque, it just slides out of the corner. So much fun, honestly. And it just keeps telling you, NP bro, NP, go ahead, you could go for it, man, go for it, it's all good. So all in all, this machine makes for a very stellar, fun bike, an extra bike, a toy really, because in all its seriousness and effectiveness for what it is designed for most people, it will be more of a toy than a competitive tool, as it were. And its value really shines in the noise and the sense of acceleration and torque that you get from it. As for its consumption, as it were, its consumption is best measured not in miles per gallon, but in smiles per gallon, because the MPG is not one of its smiles. Let's say that. But that's also, it's just not what it's designed for. It's not designed to be an economic, well, commuter. It's not a adventure, long distance holiday bike. It's a go into the forest and explore bike. It's a have a bush around the area and do sick wheelies bike. And I know that's the reputation it's got, but riding this bike really taught me why it is so popular for that. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this bike, thoroughly enjoyed it. Would definitely recommend renting it, or if you've got the space to store it, buying one. But for this specific bike, so the competitively tuned KTMs, it's so easy to go fast. There's so much torque in this thing, and it requires so much more maintenance. I don't think it's the perfect bike for road use. Like, if you're really keen on road, go for a 690 or a Yamaha XT660 or something something in that class. And there's so many enduro bikes that are just a bit, well, they're tuned just a bit more conservatively, making sure that, you know, you save your equipment and that you save yourself and that you're not always on the edge. And this bike is just meant to be driven hard, that it's meant to be enjoyed. If that is exactly what you're looking forward to, or if you're just looking for a day which is as much cursing and laughter as you've seen in my video, this bike is definitely the bike for you. This was such a blast to ride. Thank you a lot, Rudy, for loaning me this bike. I've had so much fun riding it. Thank you very much. But I think it's going to be a good thing that I'm turning it in tomorrow.